When one or both people in a relationship have a trauma history, it's pretty easy for your connection to get difficult. And it takes work on both your parts to build closeness and to build trust. Remember, complex trauma is usually the result of being repeatedly emotionally and physically abused by people whom you are reliant on. The earlier in life that this occurs, the more difficult closeness becomes for the survivor. That means that one of the saddest and most daunting obstacles that complex trauma survivors face is the fear, shame, anger, and dissociation that gets triggered when they begin to let someone in. For complex trauma survivors, psychological and physical intimacy activate their trauma triggers. So, what are a few things you can do if your partner has CPTSD? One, know each other's complex PTSD triggers in your relationship. And to get clarity on this, I recommend that you work with a trauma treatment specialist who can help you find those triggers and master them. Two, try your best not to take things personally. Yes, this is easier said than done, but it can go a long way in soothing, in being soothing to both of you. Next, learn more about CPTSD. Self-education is key. Then you know what you're dealing with. Also, learn about your partner's specific needs and triggers. In short, learn what CPTSD is. You also want to practice self-care. You need to safeguard your mental and physical well-being. Maintain regular sleep patterns. Make healthy eating choices. Engage in daily activity and exercise. Develop relaxation techniques. It's also important that you be consistent. Someone with CPTSD responds well to predictable patterns and predictable habits. Those help foster trust and a felt sense of safety. You want to respect boundaries, but also be sure to set and enforce your own boundaries. Make this an ongoing conversation between you. It's important that you talk about consent in terms of intimacy. You want to get things out in the open when it comes to intimacy and your sex life. Another important thing is you want to encourage your partner to seek professional help. Simply put, your partner needs professional treatment. They don't need judgment or unreliable support. With complex PTSD triggers in relationships, individual or couples therapy is invaluable. And here's what's important regarding complex PTSD in romantic relationships. Both people need support. Both people need guidance. The partner with CPTSD needs to work with a qualified mental health practitioner to help them move towards recovery. Trauma treatment is a specialized field of psychology, so it's best to find and work with someone who provides trauma-informed treatment. Complex PTSD triggers in relationship. Any therapy that you participate in should have some focus on identifying and managing the common complex PTSD triggers that arise in relationships. They're predictable. And as and an experienced CPTSD therapist will be able to help guide you through them. As a team, you can both commit to couples counseling. And if you're in a relationship with a trauma survivor, be sure that you get the support that you need. And that usually goes beyond the capacity of someone who really doesn't know their way around trauma. Remember, it's vital that you work with a couples therapist who specializes in working with couples dealing with trauma. Otherwise, your couples therapy could end up being ineffective or harmful. I've seen that be the case sometimes. While your partner heals, the two of you can make much needed progress in your romantic life. These parallel tracks validate both of your needs and they cover a lot more ground. It's important that you reach out for support. It's important that you get trauma therapy, again, ideally from a specialist. And if you want to learn more about how you can recover from trauma, please feel welcome to visit my website, www.michaelgquirk.com. I've posted a lot of information there that I hope is helpful for anybody who's recovering from trauma.